Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me once again. Today we're going to be doing some beer science. Here's the backstory. I was visiting my buddy De La Rosa the other day. I brought him some Coors Light in bottles because I know that's what he drinks. However, when I got there he said, "Let's try my beer." And I thought, what does he mean? I brought him his beer. So then he comes out of his garage with these wide mouth cans of Coors Light. And I take a look. Obviously what I have here is regular Coors. I'll explain in a second. So anyhow, I open up the Coors Light and I take a drink and I say, "Hey, that's pretty good. I don't remember Coors Light tasting this good." And he said, "All right, watch this." And then we grabbed one of the bottles that I had brought and we opened that up and it did not taste as good. So we were shooting theories back and forth. Maybe the wide mouth can improves the olfactory senses. Maybe it smells better, therefore it tastes better. Another theory I had was, well, maybe it's the bubbles. I feel like the bubbles in this wide mouth can are smaller. They're finer. Similar to what you might get on draft, perhaps. And I remember the bottle tasting a bit sharper and the wide mouth can being smoother. So what we're going to attempt to do here is to try to experiment with that and see if it's possible that the bubbles are of different sizes. Maybe we can see it. Maybe we can taste it. So I was lucky enough to go down to my local liquor and, well, not exactly my local liquor, but a liquor store in the area called Ramirez Liquor that has tons and tons of liquor. It's kind of like a Bevmo, but even larger. So they had this Coors, regular Coors in wide mouth, and I was pretty excited about that. I felt like it was an experiment begging to be done by me. So I hope you all enjoy the fruits of my sacrifice, opening 2 beers at once. So what we're going to do here is open these puppies up and pour them and see what happens. All right, let's get this sucker poured. I'm going to try to be as careful as possible. Well, let's open this other one first. And just in case you're wondering about the background music, that's me way back in the day, mid-90s, messing around with my Yamaha Portasound keyboard in my mom's garage, just blasting it through our PA or something like that, and playing bass too. Like I said, I'm going to try to pour them as carefully as possible so I don't create any extra bubbles. This is not highly scientific, of course. The process of pouring them into these glasses is, going to cause other issues. Joie de vivre. I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly. Sorry to my French friends. All right. So we have that other one settling on the right, and we have this one settling on the left. So what do we see so far? Well, not much. We have to let that head settle on the left. All right, let's see what we got on the left-hand side. Let's see here. Seems to have a bit more Brussels lace, as they call it. That's the head that's sticking to the side of the glass. So that's an interesting difference. And yeah, there does seem to be more bubbles in that one, more activity. Yeah, it's hard to say though. I think we're gonna need to taste these. I won't mind. Alright, let's go for it. Tastes like beer poured into a glass. Not bad. Now let's compare the wide mouth sample. That one is smoother. It's very hard to explain. It tastes better. That I can say for sure. Why it tastes better? I don't know. I think we can rule out the wide mouth olfactory theory because we don't have that at play here. So I think the actual beer is different. Let's try this again. Yeah, that's definitely sharper. I can definitely taste the... I don't know, it just tastes a little more bitter, I suppose. And the wide mouth, it just tastes more like draft beer, I suppose. I don't know if the bubbles are finer, but they taste like they're finer. They just flow down the palate easily, more smoothly. And it's more about the mouthfeel, I suppose. The left side, the can, feels like it's kind of bubbling its way down, whereas the wide mouth, it just flows. Yeah, straight from the can, it feels even sharper than from the glass. And that makes sense. I usually do enjoy my beer in a glass. All right, let's try straight from the wide mouth. It does still taste better, but the difference is not as pronounced as going from the glass to the regular can. Going from the wide mouth sample glass to the wide mouth can, it's not that big of a difference. And yeah, definitely tastes better. So my conclusion is the wide mouth sample tastes better, both directly from the can and poured into a glass. The regular aluminum can on the left, it tastes better poured into a glass. And in either case, it does not taste as good as the wide mouth. Now, the only problem I have with the wide mouth is it is a larger size, and sometimes I just don't want to drink that much beer. Or maybe I want 2 12-ounce beers, and 2 16-ounce beers is a bit much. Well, those are first world problems, aren't they? All right, thank you for joining me. Bye-bye for now.